something I remember going back to when we were all living in Rajamundry. Lovely house there. And Rupert must have been about 16 years old. Rupert, my oldest brother, he must have been about 16 years old. And he'd gone with his friend. It was quite late at night. It was dark. Well, I mean, if it's 8 o'clock at night, it's dark there in those days, because there wasn't a lot of street lighting. And I can't remember, but suddenly we could hear this music coming down. It's a lovely long road and houses on each side with big families. And we can hear this music. And I could see my mum smiling, and she realized what was going on. It was Rupert with his friend coming back with his gramophone and the record, and they were playing the gramophone as they were walking down the road, holding the gramophone. And when it stopped, when the record stopped, they put the gramophone down, wound it up again, and played the record. And this went on right till they came to the house. And then Rupert comes into the house with this big smile on his face, holding this gramophone that he'd borrowed from somebody with the record. I can't remember what song it was being played. Well, that was one of the lovely memories I have of my oldest brother, Rupert. He loved music from very little, and it was natural with him. He didn't have to take any lessons. It just came natural. And the first thing was guitar. I remember him coming home with this guitar, sitting and playing the guitar, and it came so natural to him. It took a while, you know, for him to get all the notes together, but he soon mastered the guitar, and he would play tunes, he would play music, and none of us were allowed to touch that guitar. Oh my gosh, that was treated like gold. All the little ones with their fidgety little fingers are kept away from it.
Really?
Oh yes.
How many in your family?
10, and of course there was Malcolm, me,
Bunny?
Blossom. No, Bunny wouldn't have bothered. I don't think Bunny would have bothered with the guitar at all. Blossom and Neville. We were the 4 little ones, fidgety with our little fingers, dying to get at the guitar, but we weren't allowed to.
Did you ever try?
Oh yes.
What would you do?
I got told off. The guitar was snatched out of my hand. Remember that? Don't you touch that, because I mean, if you broke the string, that's right, the string to the guitar. If you broke it, it was expensive to replace it. And this is going back years and years ago when all these things first came out. And then one day we saw him with a saw, an ordinary saw where you saw wood, and he was sitting in a front, like a front veranda, it was called, a front veranda, and he had this saw between his knees, and he got this bow which you played the violin with, and he was playing he bent the saw till he got a proper tone out of it, and he was playing a tune on this. And we were standing, there's Blossom, Neville and myself, I think Malcolm was there. We were standing in amazement looking at him playing this not violin, saw.
Playing it like a violin.
And playing it like a violin and getting good music out of it. It was really very good. He was very
Challenging.
And creative.
Yeah, I know, because he must have learnt it from someone else. We didn't see it, but he learnt how to do it himself. That was the guitar, that was the song with the violin, and then of course he taught himself to play the piano. We didn't have a piano, but if anyone else had a piano in the house, he was there trying to play the piano. He loved music, yeah.
Did he ever sing?
No, I don't think he sang very well. I can't remember him singing.
No, but he could dance well.
He was a good dancer. But it was all the old type. It was the waltz, and it was the foxtrot, and it was a quick step, you know.
Quick step.
Yes, all in those days. It wasn't rock and roll. Rock and roll was not heard of then. Rock and roll wasn't heard of till after the Second World War. Yeah.
It's so interesting.
You remember him getting married to Faye?
I don't remember. No.
We didn't go to the wedding.
No. You want to carry on?
We didn't go to the wedding because Mom and Dad, I mean, you might know about this. It's a fact, it's the truth. I'm not making it up, but my Mom and Dad a bit disappointed because Faye was Catholic and we were Church of England.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, that they did that to all of us. I married a Catholic and mom didn't like it. Blossom married a Catholic and mom and dad didn't like it. Yes. You know that, don't you?
You didn't tell me, but I wouldn't have married.
Oh, too late now.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, so to go back to Rupert, we didn't go to his wedding, even though we were all invited. We didn't go to the wedding. I mean, mom and dad was in those
Very
days,
strict.
things were very strict, very real, very what's the word?
Orthodox.
Do as you're told.
Oh, yeah.
But they liked her. They met her though, right?
Oh yes, they met her.
After that.
And was the
No,
time
they met her before that.
Okay, but they
remember
just
when
didn't
you
go
first
to the
met Faith?
Yes,
Say-
yes. I remember
say what?
coming home from school one day, and I must have been about maybe 12, 13, about that age, and there was this girl in our front room, as we would call it, sitting there, and Rupert there with a big smile on his face, and being introduced to Faye. This is Rupert's girlfriend, and she had a sister there. I can't remember. Her younger sister, but she was taller than Faye, because Faye was tiny, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And this girl was taller than Faye, and she was even taller than me. I remember standing and saying, I think I was about her age, and you're taller than me. I can't remember meeting Faye. I don't remember her coming to our home again, but the next thing we know is they were getting married, and mom and dad, well, the atmosphere wasn't very happy in our home.
No.
Because she was Catholic.
But then they moved away to where?
No,
To Madras?
They
No.
They didn't move away. We stayed in Madras, but they always lived. I cannot remember the place they lived in, but it was a train drive away.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Perambo?
No, not Perambo. You could
What's
go.
the other one?
Perambo, you could go by bus. This was
Arkona or
a
something?
train.
Arkona?
I don't know. Even if you said it, I wouldn't
No.
know
No, you didn't.
because I
No,
can't
you didn't
remember
know.
it. I knew it then, but I can't remember it now.
So when he had his first child, they had everything was alright.
No, we didn't see the first child.
No.
No.
That's sad.
I'll tell you, who was the firstborn now? I can't
I think it's Trevor.
Trevor
Uncle
was
Trevor.
the firstborn. We heard about it. We heard, you know, that Rupert is the father and the first baby was born and it was a boy. But I think after the second one, I think then Rupert brought them over.
Oh,
And
he
this
did.
That must have been quite
We
strict,
were still
yeah?
in Madras then.
Yeah.
And we were in Madras till 1940.
When you met your dad, he's such a nice man. You wouldn't think he had a temper.
Who?
Your dad?
My dad, no, they were very strict, Keith. It wasn't temper, it was strict rules. That's how they felt, and Mummy too. I mean, I don't remember Mum ever saying, oh, let them come, let's forgive and forget. I don't remember that.
Because she went by what your dad said.
Yeah. No, I think Mum felt the same. I don't think she was going by what Dad said. I think Mum felt the same, that they wanted Rupert to marry someone who was Church of England, not a Catholic.
He also said that he was really kind of naughty too with what was that guy's name? Chitty?
Oh, Chitty. Our servant, our loyal servant that was with us for years. He came to work for us when we were all in Rajamundry. And then when my dad was transferred from Rajamundry to Madras, he came with us. He didn't have a family. You know, we were, even though he was a servant, like he was our family. So he came with us. And he was still cook, he was a very good cook. He would cook some lovely dinners for us. And plenty, he had to cook a lot because
In the
there were
office?
so many.
So many of you.
Rupert used to rough him up and all.
No, he didn't. Rupert didn't rough him
Play
up.
with him.
When we sometimes, if Rupert was at home, or we were in a dancing mood, we'd play our wind-up gramophone with the music, whatever was playing that famous at that time. And the next thing you know, Chitty had come out of the kitchen and come in, and he's standing by the doorway and watching us, you see. And then suddenly Rupert would grab Chitty and put him on the chair and say, look, Mommy, look, he's sitting on the chair. Because servants weren't allowed to sit on the chair. No way, out of respect. No, he wasn't allowed to sit on the chair. And of course, we'd all be laughing. And then suddenly he'd grab, after a while, we're all still dancing, and there's Malcolm and Neville Blossom, and we used to do the hula
Yes.
dance. Remember that?
Yeah. Definitely.
And next thing you know, Rupert's grabbing Chitty and dragging him into the middle of the floor to make him dance. It was
And
really
twirling him across the floor.
mind you, this is all before Rupert was married.
Yes, this is
He was
before.
a teenager, wasn't he?
Yes.
Or
No,
younger?
He was, no, he was,
He's
I think
20.
he was maybe early 20s. I think
Early
so.
20s?
I
Got
think so.
married.
Oh,
Really
so
20s.
he was married later then
Yes.
than I thought.
I can't remember the year.
Oh, okay.
I can't. I could put a little bit of going by my thoughts of being in Madras
Mhm.
and the class. I mean, we call it class. That's the standard we
Mhm.
were in. I could have been 12, 13, not 14. 14 came later because that's when we were packing up to go to Calcutta. So it could have been 11, 12, 13. That was my age.
Mhm.
That would have been the 40s. It was still, the war was still on, as far as I can remember. The Second World War was still on when all this was happening.
Mhm.
Yes, some really happy memories there of Rupert.
I like that one story that you were telling me about how he was a boxer and he got that little tiny trophy.
Yeah, that was going back to Rajahmundry when I was very little then.
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years old.
And you
I
remember this?
Yeah, I do. I do remember 5, because when I was near to 6, then I remember all the talk was starting about war. All the older generation, old brothers and sisters, with my mum and dad, would, like after our dinner, there was no television and all. We all used to talk, sit and talk. Or if it was a nice moonlight night, we'd all sit out in the moonlight, take the chairs
There was
like
no
this.
radio, no
Yeah, it
television.
was lovely. We'd all sit out in the moonlight, sing songs, or run races around.
Chase each other.
Yeah, lovely it was. But this, going back to this, what was the condition?
Yeah, the boxing.
Yeah, Rupert must have been, I'd say 16 or 17 years old then. He was still young. And he did like boxing. He was quite a good boxer. And then there was the big one big fight a year it would be then in those days.
Yeah.
They would take part in the Railway Institute.
Mhm.
And all the little ones had to stay at home. Now we were too little to go out. Servant would look after us. And they all went off to watch him box and came back in a good mood. He's won his fight, I don't know who he was boxing. And he got a cup. Listen to this, Russell. And the cup was produced, and was what that cup. A little silver cup, which my mum treasured. She kept it for so long. It was very funny.
So were people scared of him then, if he was a boxer?
No.
No.
That's tournaments.
No,
you have all the time.
that's sport. You don't.
When we were in school, we had boxing.
No, you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
It was a sport?
That was
Never
type of
boxed.
sport. Yes, you didn't.
Was that the only sport he did?
Just
boxing?
I think so. I can't at the moment.
played hockey?
But I
No, I don't even think they had hockey then.
Oh, yes.
Oh, they did?
That's a national game.
Oh.
Yes, that would have been hockey, but I can't remember. I think that was and the other one, all the music that he liked. He liked, as I said,
I
but he
think
couldn't
music
sing.
was when he left school. No?
When he was not after he left school, when he was still in
Still
school.
in school.
Yeah.
Because
But-
usually games at school is hockey, football, cricket.
Keith, you're going back to your
No,
your
I'm
days.
saying in those days also.
Rupert, I think it was
The
in the
father used to
30s.
play
Eh?
hockey, told me.
It was in the 30s, Steve, when Rupert was young.
Because that's a national game most kids play.
But I meant